Okay, so this is how I line up my directional fabrics on my pattern. I decided that I am going to use this poppy print, which is directional. I don't want the poppies going that way, and obviously I want them going up too, so I put arrows showing which direction I want them to go. I want them all going that way. And when the other thing to remember is that when you're folding your pattern, it's what you are looking at. You can kind of think of it as the right side of your pattern is just like the right side of your fabric, and the wrong side of your pattern, the back side, is the wrong side of your fabric. So then when you fold your piece over and you're going to line it up, you can, then now you have right sides facing. So, and here you have both the wrong sides out, so you have wrong sides facing. So then too, if you have like a tricky little piece like this, where if I didn't have such a big piece, I could, where I might want to fit it into this corner here, I can kind of look at it and know that it's going to fit because the whole right side of the fabric needs to fit on this triangle. So then I fit it and I can just sew that through. And then I will trim. And press it. And now my whole entire piece covers over, so you know that that it all fits. So I'm going to do the same kind of thing on my poppy fabric. So I usually use a pink Sharpie because it's really bright and easy to see. And I had taped these two pieces together. This is a sand dunes pattern. I taped the two pieces together, but so the Sharpie actually wrote, it didn't go all the way through. So there are my pieces. I'm going to fit it through, and now my print needs to go this direction with the poppy heads up at the top. So then when I fold it down, the poppy heads will be at the top. And so then I just line it up on there. I know that it needs to kind of go along these straight lines. So now the poppies aren't going to be sort of wandering off to the side. They're not going to be upside down or anything weird like that. Run it through the machine. And now press it. And trim my piece out. When I am drawing my lines too on my fabric for directionals, I always use a drafting triangle because it has a nice right angle. So then I can be sure if I have like a right angle on the bottom that I am making a perfectly vertical line and not sort of wandering off to the side either direction. So now my poppies are going in the right direction because even though the seam is on an angle, because I have my directional lines. On this other one, this is how I match things up. So I'm going to match up these stripes across the seam line on my FPP. And again, it's the same Great Sand Dunes pattern. And I went ahead of time and I drew my pattern on just like you would with a plaid across a skirt seam, for example, or shorts or something. You would figure out where you want the pattern to be and mark it out on one pattern piece and then transfer those lines to the appropriate places where the seams meet up on the other pattern pieces. So I did that on this one. I just sewed together my first pattern piece, and then I folded the seam allowances over and marked them up together where they're going to meet, and I just transferred those lines from where they're going to meet. So now if I take my pattern piece and I line it up, and since it is piece number 1 on the pattern, I am just going to glue it down. I'm not actually going to sew it, but I line up the black lines there. Now when I trim,